Good morning. Hello, friends. Welcome to Books, Bytes, and Buzz, our Clayton County Library podcast. I'm Rebecca James, Assistant Director of Youth Services, and you know my co-host,
Dr. Rufina Ozam, Assistant Director for Customer Engagement and Community Outreach. So Rebecca, what do we have today?
Oh, Rufina, we have a really special program today. Of course, we're going to get to telling about what's going on in the library, but we have two wonderful ladies from our Clayton County Public Schools. They're going to talk to us and share information about the science of reading and dyslexia, because October is Dyslexia Awareness Month, how they're working with our students and how we in the public library can work with our students and families. So I'm very excited and want to hear everything that they have to share with us. So are we ready to get started?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Welcome. So, Rufina, as you see, I have sneaked in my friends, and I want to introduce everyone to Miss Ebony Brown, even though I still think she deserves a PhD. She is Academic Coordinator for English, for Elementary English Language Arts, and she's on the Literacy Task Force. We've worked together for years. I just adore her. She is so wonderful for what she does for our students and families, and the support that she gives us in the public library. So welcome, Ebony. And also one of my newer friends, Dr. Sherry Taylor. She is the Director of Student Behavioral Health and Wellbeing for the school district, and she's going to become one of my best friends too. So welcome, Dr. Taylor. Ebony, and we'll start with you. Give us some background and definitely talk about what you're working on this school year for our students and families.
Yeah, so this school year we have a lot in store to lift literacy in Clayton County Public Schools. One of the things that's really spearheading our work is House Bill 538, which is the Science of Reading bill, and it falls under the big umbrella of the Georgia Early Literacy Act. And so with that, we are definitely targeting grades kindergarten, first, second, and third, and ensuring that first we build the capacity of our teachers. What we are wanting to understand is, how do you learn how to read? What does it take for the brain to be able to develop those skills? So to make sure that we have children who are readers, we have to make sure that we have educators that understand that particular process. So in connection with the bill, we are completing Science of Reading modules. And so these modules, it's about 24, 25 hours worth of good solid work through the Rollins Center, and they are showing and sharing what the brain does, how we can help students learn how to read, and then how we put this into practice through structured literacy. So this year I had the wonderful opportunity of being on the high quality materials, instructional materials committee for the State Department. And with that, we were able to vet various programs and products that we can place as a core for that first set of instruction that scholars are going to receive during our reading block. And we were able to see which things would be great for scholars and educators and which things would not be so good. And so we're just really excited to share that Clayton County Public Schools, we adopted a high quality resource, and we had that in place prior to the bill and the law coming out. So we already had HMH into reading, which gives us our daily instruction support for our scholars. One of the things that we've really enjoyed also is being able to host events and activities that provide our families with more knowledge. Because while we are developing teachers and their capacity to teach reading as well as writing, then we also want to make sure that when they go home, that there's an environment that is literacy rich there. And so just last week, we had our first Lit Fit event here at the public library, and it was packed. We were packed. And families were able to come in, receive information about the bill, understand that we also have another program called A Mirror. And Amira is also connected to this particular literacy bill. And Amira is going to give our scholars a one-to-one reading tutor. So it is AI, and we know in education that is where we are trending and moving, because what better way to give every single scholar in the room an opportunity to have somebody give you immediate feedback. And so parents were able to go through a simulation of Amira and have headphones on, engage with Amira on the computer. They read the screen. If they made an error, just as the students would, and some of them we had to say, you're reading too well, make an error so you can see what Amira will do. And with that, Amira will give that instant feedback to the students and say maybe, say it again 3 times, repeat after me. Or Amira may say, move these components, and then that way they're understanding how to blend and decode and blend words, like an L. Conan box in person, but instead it was on the screen. So there are just a lot of things that we are doing around the science of reading with the materials that we have adopted and put into place with our HMH into reading as our core, with Amira as our daily set of support. It's also our universal screener as well as our dyslexia screener. And so throughout that engagement, we're looking for students to really be able to grow because of that intense support that all of these programs are providing.
That is so much information. And we've been talking, as you heard, we are working with the school district. It's another one of our partnerships. But every time I interact with Ebony, I learn something else and go, okay, we need to do this. So again, thank you for coming out. Dr. Sherry, Dr. Taylor, give us some of your background and what you're working on, because especially with the dyslexia, please.
Absolutely. I am working very closely with Ms. Brown because those two bills are connected. In order to understand how the science of reading connects to reading, we looked at the dyslexia bill not just as something that's additional. We wanted to work in partnership because all of the interventions and all of the reading support connect specifically to Senate Bill 48. Senate Bill 48 dictates that all students in kindergarten through 3rd grade be screened for dyslexia characteristics. So we work with Ms. Brown, with Amira. Amira is the screener. If there is a difficulty that's picked up in Amira, Amira is also an intervention, which I love. So that makes sure that the teacher can continue to give that strong curriculum, that strong tier 1, be able to really look at that brain-based learning, but the student gets intervention that's specific to their need. So Amira screens and they say you have a deficit in phonemic awareness, which sometimes can look like you have a reading issue because you don't know the sounds. Amira connects you to the sounds. And it also tiers the support, so it could be for an entire class, it could be for one student. We could pull that information and do small groups. So what I do for the district is work with students who are not in special education to provide them support. This bill connects right to our multi-tiered systems of support. We folded in, we're using the staff that has typically worked with intervention data to support students. So just really excited about the bill enforcing what we're already doing in the district. I really want to highlight Ms. Brown for saying we already had these things in place. We were ready to stand in the gap for this bill because we were already having these practices in place under the leadership of Ms. Brown and her team in selecting those materials and lining them up to evidence-based brain learning. I was so excited to jump in and be a part of this.
That is wonderful.
I tell you, ladies, thank you so much for sharing the resources. And I'm very proud of the Clayton County school system for identifying these resources and making them available for the families in Clayton County so that the students will be successful this school year and beyond. So thank you so much for sharing the resources.
And I agree, and one of the reasons that we were so excited to help host these LitFit parent workshops is because my experience is adults come in and they go, the school said, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, and I'm sorry, but these are giving them the opportunity to get their education that they need, which is so phenomenal. And off camera, I always ask questions about, what else do you need us to do? So I did want to ask, because you have addressed several things, but you off camera you mentioned a student support team process. What is that, and what does that look like specifically for dyslexia and reading intervention?
By now in this school year, Amira has done its job in conducting the first screener for all students. It's the beginning of the year screener. We affectionately say BOY because we have to have some kind of, acronym to live in the school system. We're not supported without them. And so beginning of the year has happened, and all of our school teams are working now with that data, that information that came from Amira. Amira has tiered all the students in the schools. I'm very proud of Clayton. When you look at its color coded, so it's a lot of green. So that says that our kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade students, by large, have the foundations of reading, which is great. So that makes the work, I don't want to use the word easier, but it does make it more targeted to be able to say, who's at risk? Let's focus on those at-risk learners. So at this time, if your student was in the at-risk category, your school has sent a letter home to you that says, Amira has done the beginning of the year screener. Your child is either going to continue the interventions, which are the HMH interventions, or the Amira interventions, because there were, a number of students in the grade level that we're going to focus on. Or the letter would say, Sherry has been identified to have specific difficulties in this area, and she's going to get a reading plan. Okay? And that reading plan, as a parent, you're going to be invited to a meeting to say, Amira report says this, it says the area of deficit, it says how deficit, and either a tier 2 team, which is tier 2, we have a big pyramid in Georgia that says tier 1, everybody gets this. So for this bill, everybody gets Amira, everybody gets HMH. If you rise up to have a concern at tier 2, there's a team ready to receive you and support you and say, continue to get all of this, but we're going to give you some additional support.
Okay.
That student support team that you reference is tier 3 of that pyramid.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of small group here, led by the classroom teacher, supported by Amira. Okay? If for any reason you still need individual support, that happens in the student support team process at tier 3, right? Still supported by Amira, that's the progress monitoring tool. That's what I love about the program. It can elevate. It can be for everyone. It can give small group support, but then it can also just focus on you individually. And in all of these tiers, there's something special that's happening called progress monitoring. That monitors whether the intervention we're doing for you is working. So you started out with this baseline issue in phonemic awareness. I'm going to keep using the same example, though that's not the only area of reading Amira measures, right? But you start out with this baseline information. Amira will track if the things that we're doing are working. So that's very important. And as a parent, you're receiving that information. You're seeing that my student went in with this level of support, and now the progress monitoring is showing whether or not it's working or not. So that is, in a nutshell, the student support team process and how it connects to this bill, but it's very instrumental that we understand. The state didn't want us to start over. They just said, put what you're doing with MTSS, multi-tiered systems of support, SST, student support team, tier 2, all those things, and just fold that into the bill. Just fold that in so that you can use standing structures to support this work.
That is wonderful. So, Ebony, when a student gets notified, the parent gets notified, what then supports are the parents getting? Or do you have like a whole list of recommendations so that they understand what's going on.
So the cool thing about the letter is right there on the letter, yes, you've received that your student has some difficulties, but the state has given a whole toolkit to parents. They can either go to that website or QR code, and it gives you a wealth of, these are things you can do at home to support reading. These are some ways that you can support reading in connection with the school. And again, those meetings that I referenced, those tier 2 or SST meetings, parents come, whether virtually or in person, and we explain everything. And at the end, we also talk about resources, ask us questions. It becomes a strong connection because we started talking to you about one topic, but oftentimes those meetings turn into larger conversations.
Right, not like what we keep having. So, have you, with the, what's it called, HMH, and Amira, through those, have you had recommendations for, different, so say series of books or something that you're now implementing in the classroom, or what you already have just fit in and into what you provided?
So oftentimes, you will hear our educators say HMH into reading has a lot. So there is so many resources provided within HMH into reading. We have wonderful focal text, stories that students are engaged with, those stories that connect to the skills. And those skills can often be those sound spelling combinations that are being taught. So that way it's not isolated learning, and then we blend that right into how we're going to write. And so teaching writing as well, because all of this is connected.
Right.
All of this is affected when we think and talk about students who may have characteristics of dyslexia. One of the things that I wanted to add that we also have in our school system, we have an early intervention program. And so with our early intervention program, we also are implementing OG, also referred to as Orton-Gillingham. And so Orton-Gillingham is a multi-sensory way of teaching and learning. And with that this year, all of our teachers who are EIP teachers, early intervention teachers, be it they may be a self-contained classroom, it may be an innovative model classroom, or it may be a teacher who's augmented that comes in and provides support or pulls students out. They are receiving an additional dose of support during small group. And so that's about a 45-minute, 50-minute session daily, where they are focusing on specific sounds, words, and how to make sure that they're developing their reading and their literacy skills. So that's another particular program that's aligned to the bill that will provide help. When we think about parents and what they can do, and then thinking about our partnership, when we met with you all, we talked about, well, if a parent comes to the library, how do they know what their scholar needs? We were just thrilled that the library has already invested so much into the science of reading by purchasing those decodable readers. But one thing in our conversation that was birthed is, okay, I'm here, but which decodable reader should I access?
Yes.
So what we did as an elementary English language arts department was we heard the concern and we created a pacing. And on this particular chart, and this is in all of the library branches, so we've made enough for everyone. So parents, when you come out and you're looking and needing to know, what do I need to pull? You should see this wonderful lit fit by grade level chart that tells you the date and what that particular foundational skill is that your teacher is focusing on. Now, we want to give our teachers grace. Sometimes they may have to reteach something, so that may put their skill a week behind, okay? But the good thing is that you're able to look at everything and you can review, or you can work ahead, but knowing that you're pulling something that is going to be in alignment with the time frame of learning. At the bottom of each of these, we have a QR code, because we want to equip. When we have Parent University, Lit Fit Parent University, it's about equipping and empowering our parents, our families. And so when you scan the QR code, it's going to take you to an articulation video. The important thing about the articulation video is it's just going to be, so the camera's not broken, nothing's wrong, but it's just going to give you the mouth, because we want to know what the tongue, the teeth, and the lips are doing to produce these various sounds. And so that way parents understand it's all 44 phonemes are on the video, and they're able to go through and practice them themselves, as well as have your scholar practice and make sure they're producing the correct sound. One good trick we always say is to just stand in your mirror and say those sounds, so you can make sure that your tongue, teeth, and lips are doing the same thing that you're seeing and hearing on the video. So we were really excited to be able to provide this and just further support parents. And then I also know that you all have that wonderful resource that parents probably want to hurry and check out, because they are very, very useful. I was so impressed when I saw them.
So thank you for mentioning those. I'm going to take a moment. I was at Lake Ridge Elementary School last night for their fall festival, and we had been asked to come in and do campfire story time, and then anything else that we wanted to, and we were put in, I want to say it was a kindergarten classroom, and it was phenomenal because I looked over at one of the desks, and there was a phonics, Unifix phonics books, and my coworker Jennifer had brought one of the phonics kits from the Riverdale Library, and it actually had the Unifix cubes so that you can make your words and everything. And I said, we are doing it. We are supporting the schools, and these kits that Ebony has mentioned, these are called Kenworthy kits. Thank you, Sherry. And we have, each one of our libraries has a variety of phonics kits. They come, of course, with a book and a set of phonics books. Then this is a dry erase practice phonics book, and my marker is missing, so I'll have to replace that. But it comes with all kinds of activities, all in the one bag, that are to support the child learning to read. I really like the hot dots, because there's the little magic pen, and it will actually say the sounds, say the words. So as Ebony was referencing with the sound video, you can hear it accurately and then get to practice it. All 6 of our libraries have phonics kits. In fact, the 5 branches just this week got new ones, so you are able to go in and borrow with your library card. We're part of the state fine system. And just take advantage, because that's been one of our concerns, is making sure that we do support you in the school system and be educated ourselves about how we interact with our families when they come in to ask for resources. So thank you. We're so excited that y'all like these and the decodable books. What else do y'all want to share?
I want to mirror some of what's going on here with Ms. Brown. Great information, because we want to make sure we're educating about dyslexia and what dyslexia is. Oftentimes we hear the letters are jumping off the page, or where they're backwards, and that's not dyslexia, right? We know that dyslexia relates to the fact that when I'm reading, I don't recognize the sound of the letter. So that's why I don't know what the letter is, right? When we're looking at a letter, we have to recognize it by sight and sound. So it may be that I think J's are G's, or they sound like G's. So when I'm reading, I say them like a G.
Yes.
I've never really understood the sound of O. I don't know that O has long, short. I don't know if it's next to this letter, it does this. There's certain phonemic rules that unless you really are connecting with them as you go along the reading spectrum. Somewhere along the line, if I never learned this, but I can read sight words, I might get to a place where I'm doing well enough, but if you test me, I do have a gap in that area. That's why I can't learn new words, right? So all these things connect so much, and I see the need to make sure we have the resource available as well, so that parents can match with, this is where my child is. However, if I see these difficulties, this is what it could be, and this is how I can work on it, and this is how the school system can help me. So I've learned a lot today too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This is really exciting. So, are the parents taking advantage of this resource? And also, do you have a way to measure the success, or is it too early to determine that?
So we are just getting started.
That's right.
This year is the implementation
Oh, okay.
year of the bill, of the Georgia Early Literacy Act. So as Dr. Taylor mentioned, we just completed our BOY. We
Okay.
do see good things starting out of the gate.
Awesome.
We also will take we progress monitor, so we're able to track and see our growth of our scholars. But in the middle of the year, which we refer to as the MOY, we'll have another set of data, and we'll be able to see how far have our students grown from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year. And then we'll do another measure marker at the end of the year, which we refer to as the EOY. So that way we can see how well we've grown. So what we're looking forward to is coming back and sharing some information about our successes from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year around December, January. What I will say is that our parents are taking advantage of the information, of the support, of the resources. We saw that clearly in our event that was hosted just a couple of weeks ago, just last week. And then we also, because of that event, we've had principals reach out and say, can you just come to our school and just do it for our school? And so that's something that we are doing as well, is trying to make sure that we give as many places for the resources to be accessed as possible. Hence why we want to make sure that we go to the other branches and provide Lit-Fit Parent University, because we know sometimes transportation can be a barrier, and we want to get as close into your neighborhood as possible, because when you are literate, you are well, and we want a very well community here in Clayton County.
Well, ladies, y'all are just fabulous. I always enjoy spending time with you. Any other questions that you have, Rafina? I'm gonna put Kim behind the camera on the spot. Do you have a question that you want to ask them about science of reading or dyslexia, Kim?
From the parents.
From the parents' perspective. Okay. So,
I will say, Rebecca, we always want to remind parents to talk and engage with their scholars daily, because as Dr. Taylor mentioned, it's about what they are not hearing. So we want them to have conversations. We want them to read an additional 30 minutes a day.
Yes.
When scholars read an additional 30 minutes a day, they're exposing themselves to 1.8 million words in a year. And so we know that reading has to just happen outside of school every day. And what better way than to maybe share a story time with your scholar, as we share it with our parents, asking those questions before reading, during reading, and after reading. It'll really help, and it all kind of just snowballs together to really ensure that our scholars are successful, because literacy is the foundation for everything.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Information is power. Thank you for sharing this critical information, and we hope that the families in Clayton County will really take advantage of this, because we want the students to be successful pilots, engineers, neurosurgeons, successful business people, and it starts with this.
Thank you so much, ladies. For those of you viewing our podcast, please, you see that you have the support. Come to your school, talk to the staff there, come to the library, have us help you get materials that you're able to borrow and take home. We're here, we want everyone to be successful, and that starts as soon as the children are born, and making sure that you have what you need. So if if you're not already a part of the Clayton County School family, the Clayton County Library family, we're inviting you. Okay, I know that sounds like church. But there's no cost. Your taxes at every level of government pay for our services. So come, talk to Ms. Brown, talk to Dr. Taylor, talk to your school if you have children already in school. Speak to us, because we're all working together to make Clayton County successful. So, ladies, thank you so much for coming out this morning. You will be invited back, because we do want to hear about mid-year and end of year and any other initiatives that come through that we can support you with.
Thank you so much.
We are so grateful for your time and energy and passion for our students. So thank you.
Thank you.
So, welcome back. Hey, Rafina, what do you have going on in November that you want everybody to know about?
Basically, we're everywhere in the community in November. This November, we're gonna be at the senior centers promoting library services at the Griswold Senior Center. We're also going to be attending some homeowner meetings. By the way, if you want us to attend your homeowners meeting to present to you the amazing resources that the Clayton County Library System has that can change your lives, please contact us at the number, the headquarters number.
770-473-3850.
Awesome. Just contact us, ask for Rufina, and I'll be able to come to your homeowners meeting to present, to let them know the resources we have that can change the lives of the residents. We're going to be, like I said, everywhere. We're attending some, okay, so please invite us to your homeowners meetings so that we can share resources that can change your lives. We're gonna be at the Family Day event at the Georgia Archives. Like I said, we're everywhere in the community to share resources that can enhance lives.
So, and I'm going to piggyback on that because we will be at the Clayton County Water Authority's Wetlands and Watershed Festival, which is Saturday, November 2nd. And that's from 10 to 2. The library will be there, of course, providing information about our services, but also doing some activities. So come into the Education Center and visit with us. And then, Rafina, you have got us scheduled to participate in the City of Forest Park's Dia de los Muertos celebration, which is Saturday, November 9th. We will be there from 3 to 6 at Star Park in Forest Park. Come find our table and say hello. And then inside the library, to celebrate not Autism Awareness Month, but Dyslexia Awareness Month and Special Needs Awareness Month, which is October, at the end of October, Tuesday, October 29th from 3 to 5 at the headquarters library. We are having the amazing adventures of Mephibosheth and his friends, a coloring book adventure program. Come see us and participate. Then in November, on Saturday, November 16th and Tuesday, November 19th, we are very lucky to have an employee from Google who is going to be here, and she's going to be doing some informational sessions about mapping your experience to tech roles that don't require computer coding and can highlight your passions for other types of jobs. And Then we do have some information that everybody needs to know about. We are having our second annual Library Amnesty Days. Those are November 25th through 27th, so that's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of Thanksgiving week. Return your overdue library materials and have those fines forgiven, and that's taking place at each of our Clayton County libraries. And then, in case you haven't heard it, we are going to be implementing new operating hours starting January 2nd. So come in, that's posted on our website, but also you can stop in and get the flyer at our libraries. So just a lot of stuff going on, things.
Exactly. So please take advantage of the Amnesty Days, November 25th through the 27th, because we want you to, come in and check out resources. We want you to be able to tap into the library electronic resources from home, from your office. So please take advantage of that.
So, anything else to share before we go, Rafina?
Not really. We're everywhere in the community. We have resources inside. We have resources to share with you outside. So come see us.
Thanks so much. We do thank you for watching our podcast, and join us next month for another edition of Books, Bytes, and Buzz.